published 4:08 Eastern Standard Time, the 25th of February 2018, updated 7:06 Eastern Standard Time, the 25th of February 2018. January's feud between Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte became so heated that the Chelsea boss said he will meet his Manchester United counterpart in a room. Just me and him when the two sides next meet. Well, Sunday is the day of reckoning. Chelsea face United and Mourinho faces Conte, at least on the sidelines at Old Trafford if not in a room in the stadium. The row between the duo was one of the fiercest and personal seen in Premier League history. Sportsmail recounts exactly how it unfolded. Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte are unlikely to be as happy to see each other this Sunday, January 4th. Mourinho: I don't behave as a clown. Christmas hadn't been kind to United. From December 20th up until their FA Cup third-round tie against Derby on January 5th, United were dumped out of the EFL Cup by Bristol City and were held by Leicester, Burnley and Southampton. A 2-0 win over Everton on New Year's Day hadn't done much to brighten Mourinho's mood. On the eve of the trip to Derby, the United boss was questioned about his muted displays on the sidelines. Because I don't behave as a clown on the touchline, it means I lost my passion, Mourinho replied. I prefer to do it the way I do it. When Mourinho's passion was queried, he said he did not need to behave like a clown, much more mature. Better for my team and myself. You don't have to behave like a crazy guy on the touchline. The way a person is dedicated to his work, not what you do in front of the cameras. His response was widely considered to be referring not just to Conte, but also to Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp. Both are renowned for flamboyant behavior while in the teams, but last season Mourinho was left livid at Conte's celebrations during Chelsea's emphatic 4-0 win at Stamford Bridge. At time he said to Conte, you don't celebrate like that at 4-0, you can do it at 1-0, otherwise it's humiliating for us. Mourinho was irked by Conte's behavior when Chelsea beat United 4-0 last season, January 5. Conte: sometimes I think there is, I don't know the name, dementia senile. Conte began January by explaining how he uses yoga to distress from football, but it is fair to assume he hadn't practiced it too much in the hours that followed Mourinho's comments. The next day, the Italian gave an astonishing response when the remarks were put to him. Maybe sometimes I think that someone forget what they said in the past, which is his behaviors, and sometimes I think there is, I don't know the name, dementia senile, when you are a bit when you forget what you do in the past, Conte said. Conte launched an extraordinary attack on Mourinho in response to his clown remarks. He is like amnesia when you can't remember things. When you forgot what you say in the past, your behaviors, and when you totally forgot, you must be worried when this happens. Because it means you are becoming old and you need a check. I must be honest, I don't read what other managers say. The only opportunity to know about these situations is during the press conference. I am not prepared like other persons to make a cinema. Because there are other persons who prepare to have a cinema in the press conference, before the game and during the game. I am not this type of person. In my 1.5 years at Chelsea, I never talk about other coaches, or if I spoke about other coaches, it was only to make compliments. Otherwise, I stay silent, but I repeat, in this situation you must have respect, and I think that I do this, but I'm starting to be a bit annoyed because once, twice. Conte's response to Mourinho came hours before United played Derby in the FA Cup. For this reason you must pay great attention when you speak, because if you want to go to fight with me, I am ready. I have zero problems. I am improving a bit my English because this is the real problem for me, otherwise we can go to fight. I'm ready to fight for me, my players, the club, with everyone. I have no problem. Arguably, for the thousands of fans on, one of the most exciting parts of Conte's reply was that it was hours before United played Derby, with Mourinho facing the media again after the final whistle, January 5th. Mourinho: what never happened to me is to be suspended for match fixing. United beat Derby 2-0, but it was Mourinho who claimed the headlines that night. The only thing I want to say to end the story is that, yes, I made mistakes in the past on the touchline. Yes, I will make less, but I think I will still make a few, he said, looking to draw a line under the argument. At least, at first that is how it seemed. He continued, "What never happened to me, and will never happen, is to be suspended for match fixing. That never happened to me and will never happen." Conte served a 4-month suspension, reduced from an initial 10 months, while at Juventus in 2012-13 for failing to report match fixing at his previous club Siena. Mourinho responded by referring to a ban Conte was given during his time coaching in Italy if there was any doubt over whether Mourinho's clown remark was aimed at Conte. Klopp, "There was no question this time, did he?" "Not me," replied the United boss, mischievously, when Conte's past was put to him. Conte was acquitted of any wrongdoing by the Italian courts in 2016. January 6. Conte, "He is a little man." Conte's opportunity to respond to Mourinho came after a 0-0 draw in the FA Cup at Norwich, a result which will only have compounded his mood prior to being quizzed about Mourinho's jibe. "The truth is that I was banned for 4 months for failure to report," Conte clarified. "Then I asked for a real trial by court and they declared my innocence. I think before you make this type of comment to hurt another person, you must pay great attention. You show you are a little man. A little man. You, Mourinho, don't know very well what is the situation. But I know him very well in the past. In the past he was a little man. In many circumstances, he is a little man in the present, and for sure he will be a little man in the future. Mourinho is this. You know him very well. The level is very low. But that is not my problem. I consider him a little man. I consider him a man with a very low profile." Conte called Mourinho a little man after Chelsea's goalless draw with Norwich in the FA Cup. Conte called Mourinho fake for his tribute to Claudio Ranieri when he was sacked by Leicester shortly after. Speaking to 5, Conte referred to Sunday's game. "When is the game against United? We can meet in a room to try and explain about these comments. I don't know if he is ready to meet me in a room, just me and him. I'm not surprised at the comments. He has to know before he speaks because he is suffering from amnesia, and he was not done there." Conte also labeled Mourinho fake for his behavior towards Claudio Ranieri. "I remember a stupid example when he offended Ranieri for his English," Conte said. "Then when Ranieri was sacked he put on a shirt for Ranieri. You are a fake. I think you have good consideration for a person or not. It doesn't change your opinion to be more sympathetic. If you want to fight a person, you try to kill this person. And then, after 2 years you try to help this person, because maybe it's good for you, for your profile." Conte also referenced Sunday's game. "We can meet in a room. Just me and him." January 9. Conte, "I will not forget this. The Chelsea boss was back in front the press before the EFL Cup semi-final first leg clash against Arsenal. Have a look at this face. Is it of a person that regrets? I don't think so." Conte said, "I think we both said things, and we'll see what happens in the future. Said serious words and I won't forget this. This is not a problem from the club, it's a problem between me and him." Conte said the row with Mourinho is a problem for them, not the respective clubs. January 12. Mourinho contempt means end of story. Mourinho was facing the media ahead of United's clash against Stoke when, finally, he appeared to draw a line under the row. He admitted he had deliberately tried to antagonize Conte but would not be further drawn on his rival. "I think when a person insults another, you can expect a response, so you can expect contempt, silence." Mourinho said, "The first time he insulted me, I had a response that I know that touched the point where he really feels hurt." He added, "Then he insulted me for a second time, but now I change. For me, contempt means end of the story."